Alright, everybody, welcome back to Major Movies and TV, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 movies of 2022, so this past year. I know I am super late on this, and I haven't posted much on this channel recently, but it's because I also do music, like I make music, and I've been working on an album for the past month that I've been really wanting to do. So I had to take a break from YouTube for a little bit. But I'm gonna try to catch up on things. Also, I haven't been able to watch every movie in 2022. Like a lot of them I just got to watch on streaming recently. Like The Menu, Violent Night, movies like that. I really hadn't gotten a chance to watch them in theaters. The closest movie theater to me is a half hour away, so it's hard for me to I mean, I guess a half hour is not too much, but when you're trying to do it on a regular basis while working a full-time job and everything else, it's hard to get out to the movies. So hopefully one day YouTube and music will just be my full-time job and I could go watch every movie that comes out. I'd totally do that if I could. But unfortunately, I don't have that option at the moment. That being said, I'm also going to try and shorten a lot of the videos I make. Like, not the ones I've already made, but shorten how I do things now. Because when I'm talking for 40 minutes about one movie, it does take up a lot of time. It does. And I know my videos aren't super complicated anyway, but still, it is time. And I also have another YouTube channel called Majr Gaming that I try to put content out on. I am trying to do a lot of stuff all at once, while also working full-time and just living in general. So I kind of, at least for now, have to try to dial things back a little bit. At least in terms of how long I spend on videos and how long I spend talking about things. So my review videos will probably be a little bit shorter and less detailed, and more to the point, if that makes sense. This video is not a review of all these movies. I am just ranking them and talking a little bit about them. Not a full review at all. So yeah. But, alright, let's get into it, starting off with the honorable mentions. First honorable mention, Top Gun Maverick. Now, I know this is probably in a lot of people's, top 3 of the year. I understand that it is a very well-made, a very well-written movie. It is a good movie. It's just not the type of movie I personally like that much. I have no connection to the original Top Gun movie. It came out before I was born. And I don't even think I saw it. At least not fully understanding it. I probably just watched it as a kid because my parents liked it. So, it's just not a movie that's super in my wheelhouse. It's not a franchise I'm connected to at all. So I completely understand that, yes, it is a good movie. I did get emotional watching the movie. I definitely understand that, even though I had no connection to the characters other than this one movie. I did feel, and the shots and everything of them in the plane, everything looked really good. The acting was pretty solid, and everything else. It's just not, again, I don't really watch war movies that much, and it's also not a franchise I'm connected to. Next up for honorable mentions is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I thought this was a solid movie. It looked extremely good. The stop motion that they did was phenomenal. It looked amazing. And I think this is a good show, or a good movie for kids for the most part, even though it is more adult than the other Pinocchios. But it is a pretty good kids movie, and I think it's important to show kids emotionally deep movies. You don't just want to throw on freaking Paw Patrol all the time for your kids. You got to show them some sort of emotional depth sometimes. And I think that this movie is a good look into that. It has a pretty decent message. It looks really good. It's entertaining. It wasn't perfect to me. There were some parts of it I didn't like. Again, it's not really the type of movie that I'm really into that much. But I can't say it's a bad movie. I can't say it's not a well-made movie. It's just not something I'm super into. So yeah, that's Pinocchio. Next up for honorable mentions is Barbarian. I've done a full review on Barbarian on this channel, so I'm not going to go super into it. I thought it was a really fun horror movie, had a cool concept, very disturbing at some points, but I also felt like the characters didn't really have an arc. It felt like they were, like, you know how people say, oh, it's cliche that horror movie characters are stupid? Well, after watching this movie, I'm like, you know what? It is a little bit more entertaining when the characters are stupid, though, because these characters, they're not the most intelligent, but they're also not stupid, so I'm like, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It feels like a bunch of events happening, and that's kind of what drug the movie down for me a little bit. Smile, next up in honorable mentions. Again, a good movie, solid movie. I like the characters, acting was well done. The premise has been done before, but it was done uniquely enough for it to be entertaining. The only thing is, the premise has been done before in certain ways. It's not a completely new, idea for a movie, but it's not a bad idea. It was done well, so that's why it's in honorable mentions. The ending, I felt like, wasn't bad, but it also wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. I felt like the horror aspects could have been a little bit stronger, but for what it was not bad, so honorable mention. Next up is Netflix's The Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Reynolds, one of my favorite actors of all time. He probably my favorite, honestly. I think he's hilarious. I love him in pretty much every role he's in, even though every role he's in is kind of similar, but I did like this movie for the most part. It had some solid action. I liked the characters. The idea was cool. But it felt like a movie I would have liked more as a kid. It felt like a movie that I would have really liked as a kid. So, and now that I'm older, I'm like, I can see how this is just kind of like a quick, fun movie to watch. It doesn't leave a lasting impact on me, but I also did enjoy it for the most part. So I'm like, that's kind of how I feel when I say liked as a kid. Like, as a kid, it would have had a bigger impact than it does on me now, essentially. Next up for honorable mentions is the DreamWorks The Bad Guys. I thought this was a very solid kids movie. I enjoyed it. I liked the characters. I liked the idea. I think DreamWorks is on a roll recently. I haven't gotten to see Puss in Boots 2 yet, but I want to. I heard it's really good. I'm gonna watch it eventually. But, yes, DreamWorks has been on a roll recently, and I think that this movie is a step in the right direction. I think this movie was the start of the DreamWorks renaissance that I think is going to be coming up soon. I think they're really getting in their bag, and they're going to be able to compete with Disney and them soon. I think they will. Next up, Hellraiser 2022 on Hulu. I did enjoy this movie a lot. It wasn't unmemorable, but I just felt like there could have been a little bit more to it. It's also not my particular type of horror movie. I like slashers. I like fun slasher movies. Those are my favorite horror movies. This didn't feel like that. It felt more slashery than the first Hellraiser, but it still is more in that, I don't want to say niche, but like niche horror type of thing where it's not really a slasher, but it's also like supposed to be extremely like really bloody and disturbing. So kind of like Saw or Collector, but like a milder version of that. And it was pretty solid. The acting was all right. You know, I didn't hate it. I liked it, but it just didn't get there for me as like a top 10 movie for me. So that's my honorable mentions. And now we move into the top 10. Top 10. All right, number 10, we have Sonic 2. Now, do I think Sonic 2 is a perfect movie? No, there's a little bit in there that maybe I would have cut out or whatever. I think they'd be best to focus more on Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails next time around and the actual, like, video game character parts of the movie. But this movie did cut down on the human part of it, and the Sonic franchise is honestly it's pretty good. I like the Sonic franchise that they got going. I hope it continues. I hope it's successful. I think it'd be cool if maybe Dr. Eggman wasn't in Sonic 3. They moved on to a different bad guy. I think they need to do that. But other than that, it's just a fun kids movie. And I don't say kids movie as an insult, like it's just a fun animated movie that I did enjoy a lot. It had some really funny jokes. I like Knuckles and Tails. And I saw the first Sonic movie in theaters with my little cousin, and honestly, it was just like a core memory for me. I just really remember that day, and I really had fun with my little cousin. So now this Sonic franchise is just... it's an important thing to me, and I did like that. I did really like the second movie. I thought it was an improvement on the first movie, which I liked. So, you know, I'm going to put it in my top 10. It's the only quote-unquote kids movie in my top 10, but I think it was really well done. I did enjoy it. Number 9, Black Adam. Again, do I think that this movie is perfect? No. I didn't really like the kid in the movie, but I saw this movie on HBO Max with my boy Nico at his house, and honestly, it was fun. It was a fun time watching that movie with my boy, and I think that's what this movie was supposed to be. It was supposed to be just a fun movie to watch, a fun superhero movie, and I miss fun superhero movies that are just fun and you just go in, you don't expect too much. But you just expect a good story, good action, and you just kind of go with it. And it's a fun movie. It's not perfect. I feel like the characters could have been given more depth, especially Cyclone and Atom Smasher. But they weren't bad. Dr. Fate was really cool in the movie. The special effects were really cool. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I mean, that's some of the... he acts less like Dwayne Johnson in this movie than most movies. We'll just say that. So I did enjoy this movie. I think it's a fun movie. I wish it was more successful, but it is what it is at this point. And moving on to number 8, Scream 5, or Scream 2022. I thought this movie was really fun. This is the type of horror movie that I like. It's just a fun slasher movie. The characters weren't overly stupid. Like, it had a good story, some really cool kills. The killer is fun. I like fun slasher movies with fun killers that are just entertaining. Like, I like entertaining sequences. That's my favorite type of horror. Not saying I don't like other types of horror, but my favorite is just fun slasher movie with a fun killer and a lot of fun sequences, and that's what this movie was to me. It was pretty fun. I liked seeing the returning characters and everything, and it's unique. I like the Scream franchise, and I'm really excited for Scream 6. So, Scream 5 was number 8. Number 7 is The Menu. This movie, again, was really fun. I say it's a horror movie, but it's really more of like a dark comedy, and it was hilarious at times. There I watched this one with my boy Nico too on HBO Max, and we were dying at some of the parts. The chef dude was hilarious. Anya Taylor-Joy did really good in her role. That part where I forgot, I think his name was Scott, right? I forgot his name, but the dude that brought Anya Taylor-Joy to the island, when he makes the food and then it shows up and it's like Scott's bullshit as the name of the thing, I was dying. That was hilarious. Or Tyler, I forgot what his name was, but either way, the movie was funny, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a unique premise. I thought it was pretty well written. The comedy made the movie for me. Like it was very funny. If it wasn't as funny as it wouldn't be nearly as good as it was. But it was very funny, and I had a lot of fun with it. And fun is like one of the biggest things for me when it comes to favorite movies. I look for fun. I don't want to be bored. I don't want to there are certain movies that just are not as fun to me, and fun sticks out. Fun makes me want to watch a movie again. I would watch The Menu again. It's a fun movie. So, yeah, The Menu is really good. On to number 6, Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness. Marvel has not put out its best movies during Phase 4, but I still enjoyed this movie. It's definitely better than Thor: Love and Thunder. I liked how unique it was. It brought in more horror elements. I like seeing the cameos and the different characters and everything like that. It could have been better. I'm not saying it's like a perfect movie or anything, but me personally, it's my favorite Marvel movie of the year. I have not seen Wakanda Forever, though. If I saw Wakanda Forever, it would probably be in this top 10 because I've heard it's really good. But, unfortunately, I haven't gotten to see it yet. And I will when it comes to Disney+, but as of right now, number 6 is Doctor Strange 2. I didn't think it was perfect. I didn't think it was like the best Marvel movie ever, but it is definitely better than a lot of other Marvel movies that came before it. So I don't know why people always attack it, saying, oh, it's not as good. Well, there are some worse Marvel movies that came before Doctor Strange 2. And not even saying that those are necessarily bad, but this is not the worst movie. Maybe a little bit of a disappointment based on your own expectations, but it's not a badly made film. It's really not. It's solid. It has some really cool sequences. It's pretty fun, and it does have a story to it. It's not just cameo fest. So, I will say though, it would be nice if they kind of didn't make the TV shows so connected to the movies. Like, you need to watch WandaVision to know what happens, to know the reason behind Doctor Strange 2, and it's kind of like, so much stuff to watch, But it is what it is. Number 5, we have Prey. Prey, really fun action sci-fi horror movie, is unique. What horror movies take place during, like, in a Native American tribe in the woods. Like, how often that doesn't happen, and I feel like that's why Prey was better than Hellraiser. Hellraiser is kind of predictable. Prey is not. You don't really know what's going to happen in Prey. You don't know what is really happening. It had some amazing sequences, amazing kills. The Predator looked really cool. I actually really liked the design of the new Predator. I kind of liked it a little bit more than the old ones, because the original Predators, they had like that huge head, and I kind of preferred the slim down head. I felt like it felt more realistic. I really liked the new Predator's design. I thought it was really cool. And Amber Midthunder did really well in her role. It would be cool to see her in other stuff, but it was just a very unique movie. I think it's an underrated movie of 2022. I feel like it deserves a lot more praise than it actually gets. It looked really good, and the acting was really good, and the sequences were really fun. There's like very little negative to the movie. So, Prey is number 5. Now, number 4 is Violent Night. And I can't say that Violent Night is a better film than some of the movies I put before it. Like, I don't think it's better made than Prey. I don't think it's better made than Doctor Strange 2 or Scream or whatever. But it's again really fun. It's fun. I like the action in it for the most part, and just the idea of having this old grizzled Santa played by David Harbour, who carries the movie pretty much, and there's a lot that they could do with this in a sequel. They could expand Santa. I hope in the sequel they give him more magic powers and stuff that he can use, because that's what makes this interesting. The fact that he's magical and he's fighting these guys, but he's not like overpowered, He's not like Doctor Strange level magical, but he has some magic to help fight with, what's going on, and that's really cool. It's really unique, and I really like that. It had a good message, believing in Christmas and stuff like that. Like, it's true. It had some good points about, like, Christmas is just about asking for money. It's very... Christmas doesn't feel the same. Maybe it's just because I grew up, but Christmas doesn't feel the same as it did back in the 2000s, So I did really enjoy this movie. I think it was a movie that was needed. I think it has a point to it. It's not just a violent action Christmas movie just to be a violent action Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie that has violent action in it and has the potential to really expand its lore and expand Santa and really do something with this premise. And I think it's a really good idea, and I hope they keep it going. I hope they actually make the sequel better and expand it more and give Santa more to do, Make him more magical. Give him more abilities and stuff like that. I think that'd be really dope. Number 3. We have Glass Onion, A Knives Out Story. Now, normally, I don't really like mystery movies. I'm not, big on mystery movies. But this movie was entertaining. It actually has a lot of twists in the story that I didn't expect. And maybe I'm just, dumb. Maybe other people are like, oh, it's so obvious. I don't care. To me... There were a lot of twists in it that I didn't really expect. I didn't. I went along with it. The actors did pretty well. They were pretty entertaining. There were certain parts of the movie where I felt kind of weird about it, but then the twists at the end, made it better. The character, Dave Bautista's wife. I know who she is. She's played by the girl who plays Sarah Cameron in Outer Banks. For some reason, I can't remember names. I am horrible with names. At first, I did not like her character at all, and then I actually kind of was like, all right, I get it. Dave Bautista's a weirdo. He's willing to use his wife to get somewhere in the world. It's very odd, and you know what I'm talking about, and stuff like that. The twists actually helped the movie in some ways. I really liked... God, again, I'm so bad with names. The detective character, the main detective character, he was really cool. I liked how he kind of just figured things out, He was really smart about it, and how he knew who the bad guy was, And, I liked it. It was entertaining. Do I think it was the best made movie on this list? No. I feel like there were some better made movies, but I just found it entertaining, and that's the most important part of watching a movie. Is it fun? Is it entertaining? Does it actually get your attention? And yes, this movie got my attention more so than a lot of the other movies on this list, so, Now, number 2, The Batman. This is probably the best superhero movie of the year. If I haven't seen Wakanda Forever. I don't know if it beats the Batman. But this is a really good superhero movie. I'm really excited to see what they do with this Matt Reeves universe. Yeah, it just felt like a dark Batman story, and I really enjoyed it. I like dark Batman. Batman's one of the few DC characters where I'm like, yes, this character deserves a dark, and I'm not even saying dark like violent, just dark like mature. You know, like it was more mature. It wasn't just like Batman and normal superhero, you know. It was a very mature Batman movie with mature themes and like mature storytelling that I've wanted from Batman. Like DC feels like it could do so much more with its mature themes than Marvel could. Marvel, unfortunately, is super big blockbusters, cinematic universe. It has a harder time going into more mature stuff. DC, though, DC can build off of all that. DC can be, that is DC's edge over Marvel, is the fact that they can do these more mature and darker stories and actually make it work. And I really like the Batman. I thought it was really well done. The Riddler was cool in it. And I'm excited to see what they do with it. I feel like Scarecrow would probably be the best villain for a sequel if they're gonna do that. You know, I think Scarecrow would fit really well in this universe. So I hope they do that. Next up, my number one. All right, so number 2 was the Batman. My number 1 is Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. This movie was amazing. I really love this movie. It was action-packed. It was funny. It was everything that I want from an action comedy. It was great. The twists were really fun. A lot of things happened that I didn't expect. By the end, I'm just like, I don't even know what just happened, but it was great. There were a lot of really cool sequences, a lot of really cool action. I liked the characters. Brad Pitt's character was fun, and I just really enjoyed this movie. It was well written, well acted, and it was great. I think Bullet Train is my favorite movie of 2022. So, yeah, that is my top 10 movies of 2022 with some honorable mentions. If you have your own list, let me know down in the comments below. Again, this wasn't supposed to be a review of these movies. This is just me giving my thoughts and my list. So starting out number 10, we got Sonic 2, then Black Adam, Scream 5, The Menu, Doctor Strange 2, Prey, Violent Night, Glass Onion, The Batman, and Bullet Train. That's my top 10. Let me know your top 10 down below. And everyone, have a good day.